Hello, everyone. Welcome in. It's time for Old Man Yap. Hello, Al. How are you today?
Hello, Janken. Hello, Janken. Welcome to me. Thank you for having me on the show. Thanks for having me on the show.
Hey, no problem. It's recurrent now, so you know you're just part of the shop at least once a month.
yeah. We'll get up to once a month. But yeah. We'll get there. Yes. We'll get there. Yes.
How's everyone today? Everyone's good. I'm seeing some regulars in the chat. I see Pillar, Nando, Mars, Crad. Hello, hi guys. So today it's indeed an episode of Old Man Yap, but it's we have a little twist today. I think we did mention it before. Today there is two special things actually. The first special thing is it is a Q&A episode, if we can say it like that. And apparently it's also a Christmas episode with the Santa hat.
Yeah.
But I have a rule about that, but I'll talk about it just after that. So yes, it's a Q&A episode. You can click on the YouTube. There is this amazing feature that not a lot of people use, and they should use it more, in my opinion. You can click on the Q&A thing that I put up there, and you can just type question, and I'm gonna see them. And we're gonna try to go through all of your question. Yeah, we're gonna try to answer anything, so don't feel too restricted. But of course, if it's a little bit too crazy, maybe I'll skip it. But I'll try not to, unless it's like really something crazy. So yeah, you're pretty festive today. Ready for Christmas?
A little bit. Yeah. I mean, I find Christmas is a very important holiday in my family, which, as a corollary, makes it a very stressful holiday. Those two things kind of always go hand in hand, right? The more important something is, the more stressful.
Yeah.
So I will, and I'm a bad present buyer. So and I'm a bad present receiver too. I like if I need something, I just get it.
Yes.
And if I don't need something, I don't want to have it because I don't have a lot of space. So it's like I'm a pretty bad person to shop for as well. And I have realized that the trick to this is consumables. That's the trick to it. And this is actually I actually learned this from a friend of mine who lived in Japan for years. That like this was his trick for dealing with how stressful present buying can be for Japanese people.
But a consumable is very high here as a gift value. Yeah. There's a lot of things that you consume when you get. Yeah.
So I remember the way that he put it was like if you buy somebody a scarf.
Yeah.
Like the expected thing in Japanese culture is that, like, they'll be wearing the scarf like every time you see them.
Yes.
So like anytime you buy somebody something that's like durable, like you've now given them an obligation to care for that object as well. It's kind of like a jerk move.
In Japan, it's kind of crazy. Some houses, they have a gift room.
Yeah.
Literally, or a gift closet where they keep the gift to be given and they keep the gift that they are receiving in that room.
yeah. I mean, there's all sorts of like fun variations on that. The rapper Method Man had a like corner of his apartment that was just full of like children's toys. Just like a stack of children's toys, like chest high. And whenever it was one of his like nieces or nephew's birthdays, he'd just grab one of them and wrap it and send it. Just a backlog of children's toys. I have learned to, when people ask me what I want for Christmas, I'm like, chocolate.
Yeah, things that you can consume. That makes sense. That makes sense.
And now what I give people is now cookies. Because I'm a pretty good baker. They nail well.
Yes. Yeah, I think I remember you mentioning.
Yeah, but that does mean that sometime in the next couple of days, I'm going to bake about like 200, 300 something.
Oh, wow. All right. For me, I have a rule about Christmas. I say that in a very serious tone because I had to take it very seriously. So you see, I'm a December baby. And
right.
my birthday is on December 22nd. Wink, wink, everyone. Don't forget. Next week. And I try to keep my celebration of Christmas to a minimal. But right after my birthday on the 23rd, I go crazy for I like just Christmas music, like nonstop until Christmas. And usually I get really in the spirit like just before. Outside of that, like I see a lot of people like December, they celebrate like the whole month. But for me, being a December baby, I take it very seriously because Christmas is Christmas and my birthday is my birthday. You know,
getting Christmas down to December was a major victory for me and my brothers.
Yeah,
my family. Growing up, Christmas in our household would usually start in June.
In June,
and 24/7 Christmas music.
Wow,
24/7 from June through mid-January. Yeah,
that's a bit excessive, no?
Yes, it was. it was ridiculous. And like when I say Christmas music, I really mean like between 12 and 15 songs. Like it was like not a lot of different songs. It was like one album.
For a half a year, you're gonna get crazy. You're gonna be like you're gonna hearing them in your dreams, that kind of level.
Oh yeah, no. Me and my siblings all hate Christmas. And my mom doesn't get it. My mom's like, "How can you not love Christmas?" I was like, "Mom."
Because there's too much of a good thing is not good, you know.
like it's like we were drowning in Christmas for like decades.
Oh man,
that feeling that retail workers have about like being in the mall and Christmas music, like that was our hope.
Yes. Oh my god. Segue about this, by the way. Do you also know who's December baby?
I can think of several people, but I don't think I can't. I'm assuming you got somebody in mind.
Well, yeah, I got something in mind, and I got someone in mind.
Yes, I do know. I do know.
Yes, they might be in the chat today, and this was a compromise that I had to do today. Me and Al, we wanted to do this stream. We were planning, when we could do that. Oh yeah, that day was pretty good. And then me realizing, I go. Oh, it's Miss Janken birthday today. Hey, yeah. Happy birthday, Miss Janken. And we had this deal that if we were doing this this morning, we would. And then that's funny because I was like, bro, you can't. I was like, come on, we gotta do it. It's like for a good cause. It's like we gotta sing. And what did you say about your singing, Hal?
Oh my goodness. I am a truly terrifyingly bad singer. I did not know until like last year that it was considered rude at karaoke to escort somebody off the stage, because it has happened every single time I have done karaoke. The only times I have not had somebody come up to the stage and take me off stage have been they cut the power.
Wow. That's so rude. What? That's crazy.
That's been my experience universally with karaoke. I thought that was normal. That's what it's been for like 20 years.
Wow. Well, today I am not gonna cut you. And I'm gonna cut the music though, the background music. And are you ready? We're about to sing.
Hold on, which tune are we going to? Because I'm going to take out my headphones.
We're gonna go to Happy Birthday, Miss Janken. Is that good?
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm just not going to listen to you while we're doing it, because otherwise I'll stop.
Okay.
I will not say like that's the problem with doing sing-alongs over like Zoom calls and stuff. Like,
yes.
You think you're interrupting somebody else. It doesn't feel like you're singing with them. It feels like you're singing against them. So we'll be guessing on the tune here. I will be muted. I will be deafened, I should say.
We'll be good. We'll be good. Oh shit! I should have prepared a BGM. It's gonna be a cappella.
Okay. Total guesswork on if we sync up at the end.
Are you ready?
Yep.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Happy birthday, Miss Janken. Happy birthday, Miss Janken. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Miss Janken. Woo!
All right.
I could feel all the emotion.
Sorry to put you through that.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I'm sure she appreciated it. Oh yeah, all right. So yes, couple of special occasion, Miss Janken birthday. We have a special Q&A episode. That was glorious. I'm sure.
Oh, jeez. Totally stone sober at 7 p.m. on a Saturday night for this.
It's morning over here, no problem. All right, let me see. We got a couple questions already, but you guys please feel free to fill it up. Right, fill this up, and we will be answering them as we go. Nando has literally spammed at least like 10 questions, so I'm gonna keep some for when.
When I did a Q&A, I had one person who contributed significant about 80% of the question, so I had to alternate between Nando, exactly.
It gives a buffer if like we don't have enough, so that's all good.
Yeah, you can go back and forth with other questions.
All right. So let me start. First question we have, I'm going to read it. It is from, unless you guys don't want me to say your name, like tell me in the question. It's from Pillar Nexus. He says, are there any games, tabletop or digital, that you really like, but don't hear much about from others and would want to recommend?
Okay, yeah, I've got several.
Okay. But it says any games. Okay, plural. Let's start with one each.
Yeah. So I mean, the thing is, like, I'm a huge hipster, so unsurprisingly, my favorite video game and favorite tabletop game are both on the more obscure side. My favorite video game of all time is called The King of Dragon Pass.
Oh my god, yes, I know. It's the animated one, right?
It's not animated at all, actually. It's all stills. It's all still watercolors.
Oh, maybe I'm mistaking it for something else.
People often assume it's animated because it looks like beautiful hand-drawn animations, but they're actually all just still images.
So you said King of?
The King of Dragon Pass.
Of Dragon Pass. Okay, let me Google it.
Yeah. It is a strategy RPG from 1999.
Oh, no, I don't know it.
Yeah, no, nobody knows it. Actually, no, it's very weird. Like, it's very interesting. Like, the people, like, I occasionally mention it, and like a couple of people in my community know it because I have attracted a particularly odd sort of community.
Okay.
But like, almost everybody I know puts it in like their top 5 games of all time. Almost every person I've ever played it. It also has a very interesting attribute where the game is very much designed to be role played. Like, you should imagine yourself as the kind of magical Viking who can shoot lightning out of your eyes and defeat prisons by singing poems at them. like literal things that are part of the gameplay mechanics. It is an insane game. And so I know quite a few people who find it to be a very difficult game. The single best gamer I know, like, is like a top 100 gamer in like 3 different games. It took him 20 to 30 tries to beat it.
Okay.
I handed it over to a friend of mine who had never played any other video game before in his entire life. He literally asked me, I've never played a game before, what's a good video game? And I gave him King of Dragon Pass. And I said, the key is to roleplay like you're a magical Viking. He beat it on his first try.
Interesting.
Yes, and I'm currently watching somebody play another game by the same studio called Ride Like the Wind, and they're trying to play it like a gamer. They're trying to be rational and scientific in their approach to it, and they are struggling so much. No, you need to think like you need to be thinking real weird. You need to be thinking really weird about your solution. You cannot be thinking like a gamer. That's why I love it so much. That's a lot of why I love it so much. Is that it really gets you.
King of Dragon Pass.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. But it's old in a way, so it makes sense that it's not like very trending.
Oh, extremely not. There was a period of about 20 years where the only way you could get it was you mailed or phone called the company.
Wow.
They had not produced any games for over 20. They didn't produce any games for 20 years until they made 6 Ages, and they would burn you a CD and mail it to you.
But it looks like it's on Steam now.
Yes, on Steam now. They made a mobile version a couple years ago.
Okay.
And now they've made 2 sequels to it since then. It's got like a little cult community around it. And now,
I really like usually that kind of games. So I'm kind of curious. Maybe I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's very much. It's honestly got a very visual novel feeling.
A
lot of the game is like 2 members of your clan got divorced and they're having this person got divorced and she insists that the 2 cows that she is owed are the literal 2 cows that died over a decade ago, and she is not accepting 2 substitute cows. How do you resolve this dispute? And they give you like a list of 5 items. It's that kind of game. It's wild.
That's pretty good. I didn't know it, so I guess it's pretty niche. On my end, I'm going to take something that I've mentioned before, and I'm just naming it because I think it's not stream a lot, but I think it because it's not a great game to stream. There's just, some strategy games. Sometimes it's just like it feels weird to stream them. And this one I'm taking because it is literally one of my most played games of all time. And I did stream it once, but I was like... Yeah, it feels weird because it's heavy strategy. The name of the game is, but there's a second one now. It's a Reuse, Reus, where basically you are gods, like elemental gods, like rock, water, and that kind of stuff, and you terraform a planet to kind of have some civilization on it. And those civilization, they have needs, and you basically provide through things that you quote summon for them, like some trees, some animals, some minerals. It's kind of a puzzle strategy game because you need some time to reach certain specific goal. And what is fun about it is that not a game is the same. Not a game is the same because there's many type of goals that you can achieve. For example, like there's like eras, you could say, and some of the higher eras are like kind of difficult. Like there's one is like a cultist era where all of the mechanic kind of change. Now they need to do sacrifice on certain item only, so you need to focus on those. So it's really versatile, and it's, I don't know, it's just like it gets my hitch on this kind of strategy puzzle game, which I like a lot. But like I said, not really good for streaming. Just it's kind of slow, and you gotta think like, how can I get the best result? And you're just like you're checking all your stuff, and you're like thinking a lot of thinking. But it's a Hindi game, and it's one of my favorite game, and they keep like updating it and keeping it alive right now. So I think it's worth.
Cool. It looks cool as heck to me. I looked it up on Steam. This one looks cool as heck to me. I'm gonna put it on my wish list.
And the visual are pretty cute. I like it.
I think they're cute. Well, I like these kind of because like what it looks like, my understanding from both what you said right now and kind of like what it looks like looking at the Steam page is that it's one of those games where like the most important element of the game is something you can only kind of direct. You can't really control. And I love that. I actually love that kind of mechanic. I love the game Majesty.
Oh man, me too. I love Majesty. It's so good. Like I played this game a couple years ago. In Montreal, we have, and I think it's very old, and maybe one of the first pilot of this kind of game, of this kind of shop. It's a tabletop bar, basically. But like we've had it for a long time in Montreal, and it's very popular. And I went there, and like there's some specialist tabletop game specialist, and you're like, you tell them what you like, and they go, okay, and then they come and they suggest some games, and this is how I discovered it. This one guy just like, oh yeah, like this game from what you tell me, I think it would be like a good fit. Man, I love Majesty. It's so good.
I've played Majesty. So like you talked about how you feel like Reyes is such a good stream game, and it's one of those cases where I feel like what makes something a good stream game or not partially depends on personality. Because the person who got me to start streaming is an EU4 streamer, and I find that I don't stream EU4 well. I tried to do it a lot, and it doesn't actually mesh well with my personality. Majesty, I've streamed a lot, and I think it actually works pretty well, because Majesty is at this interesting point where it is actually a complicated game.
You're not
but it looks simple.
About the same Majesty.
Majesty HD, the one where you have like the little D&D adventures going around.
No, we're not talking about.
Oh, we're talking about different games then. Damn it. I was talking about the one where you get like little D&D adventures.
Or is it me who's mixed? Oh yes. Let me.
There's no reason why there couldn't be more than one game called Majesty.
It's me. It's me. I'm the problem.
But no, Majesty is a very similar type of game to Reyes in that like you can't control the main weapon. The main thing that you are trying to control is these D&D adventures, but they just do their own thing. You just like set up shops for them and hope that they actually like do your quest. And the part that's been kind of funny to me is I've streamed it a couple times, but there's a couple levels in the game that like the solution I came to was build hundreds of wizard towers and just carpet the map in wizard towers. And so when you do that, the game just spams. The game's got so many goofy voice lines. And the game will just spam, Majesty, a building has been completed, like 3 times a second. Like, it's just like overwhelming cacophony of this very polite man going, Majesty, Majesty, Majesty. Which is terrible streaming. Like, absolute audio torture. But otherwise a good stream game because it looks simple but is complicated. Like if you're a viewer, you can tell whether or not I'm losing in like 2 seconds. Whereas that's not true of a lot of strategy games. A lot of strategy games, it's like not obvious at all, like what is happening on screen. Which is why I don't like to stream them super much.
Exactly. When you don't know what's going on, and I think that's the thing with Reuse is like things happen. You know, as a person, because you know what you're doing, but for the viewer, it's just like, okay, I see. I see things popping in. And then that's the thing is I have, and when I stream, I was like kind of giving all of my strategy, but it's so long because every time I'm like, okay, so I'm using this one here because like I have this one here, so it's gonna combo into this one here because when it's next to this kind of plants, it gets a bonus here, and then when I do that is because I plan on my next move like in like 3 cycle. It's just
no. This is the thing about like the bigger strategy games that makes them nightmare. It's like so why did you do this? It's like, well, because I fabricated a claim on that kingdom 2 generations ago, and I fabricated that claim because it's a holy site for this minority religion.
Yes. It's like, oh my God. It's like imagine if you're streaming chess, but you gotta explain like all of your moves because usually someone who streams chess, they assume the viewer is gonna know what's going on. Because if they kept like just explaining, okay, so I moved this one here because I know that like it's gonna okay, play. Can we play the game now?
Imagine every single time you castled, you had to explain like the entire rule set to chess. Like that's what it's like to try to stream a game like EU4. Like, and like there's people who specialize in watching it, but like it turns out this is a special kind of audience. Like
it's very niche.
Yeah, you can't be guaranteed to find them. To find these people who are like, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do this like special event thing that has a 2% chance of per year? And I'm like, what are you talking about? What's happening? But yes. So that was a video game. the question was an obscure game, a game that we love that we want to be talked about more. So you chose Reyes and I chose King of Dragon Pass.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
Good, but that's good because we're now both curious of.
I'm very curious about this one. This one looks very much up my alley. This one looks fun.
The next question we have, it's kind of funny. Like, I'm not sure what was the purpose, and I don't know how we should read into this.
Okay. I like that.
But the question is cheese? Question mark?
Okay. I can answer that one very.
Okay.
No thanks.
Yes.
Yeah.
So cheese, yes. Cheese
and cheese, no.
Oh, your cheese, no.
Cheese, no. I've been vegan for like 13 years.
Oh, that's right. How do you substitute? How do you substitute?
Well, so it depends a lot. So, because like cheese has to accomplish goals in your cuisine, right? Like you're doing things with it. And the truth of the matter is that I actually mostly cook Chinese.
Okay.
I've been really into like Shanghainese and Sichuanese cuisine.
Yeah, they almost never use cheese.
They almost never use cheese. So it's like not like what am I subbing? Like what where would it even go? So that's not a big deal. There are places where like one of those things that I've remarked upon repeatedly is like I don't miss the good cheeses. Like my dad has like fancy taste in cheese and like goes and buys like fancy cheeses from a specialty cheese shop. I don't care about those at all. I don't miss them at all. Whatever.
I see.
What I kind of miss is the absolutely atrocious nachos that they would serve at the hockey rink. With just like the worst, like the worst cheese, arguably not even cheese. like that I kind of miss. And for that, Via Life cheese is actually not bad. The thing about vegan cheeses, if anybody is wondering about this and like have had vegan cheeses and been like, oh, that wasn't very good. Different vegan cheeses are good for different things. Like they're not generally as broad spectrum as just like buying a block of cheddar. They're usually quite a bit more specialized because they'll have different properties under like different levels of heat and stuff like that. So like chow cheeses actually taste fairly good for cold cuts, but they don't melt like at all. So like Daya is generally very bad, but the Daya they call it liquid cheddar, which is not always a great sound. Actually works really well for macaroni and cheese.
Okay.
Like not really anything else. Like it works pretty well for macaroni and cheese and like functionally nothing else.
Okay.
Which is the main like, cheese recipe I do anymore. Is I like making mac and cheese and I use that one.
Okay.
And like Daya is awful for pizza. Some people have tried to make like Daya.
I'm sure.
And it's so bad. Don't do it. But Miyoko's is really good for pizza.
Okay.
And if I'm making cheesecakes, that is actually probably the one where it's like a substitution where I have to think about it. For some soft cheeses, it's actually not too hard. If you're not using like soft cheese like in and of itself, if you're not trying to like have a slice of brie, if you're using it as like an ingredient,
yeah,
right? Like you're using ricotta for Italian cooking. Tofu with lemon juice, yeast, and salt is actually pretty credible.
Interesting.
Like, that's actually like a pretty credible
Man,
ricotta.
I swear to God, tofu can be used at so many replacements. Yeah. Every time I hear a replacement, it's always fucking tofu.
Yeah. And for cheesecakes, I use a mix of, it depends a little bit on the recipe, but cashews are important. Cashews and lemon juice are pretty much in every cheesecake I make. And then sometimes I have tofu, sometimes I don't. Because like for cheesecake, you kind of want like both the texture and the sourness. So like you do the right balance.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Blended cashews will get a nice creamy texture.
Interesting. Well, I'm full on cheese. Personally.
You're full on cheese.
You know, but I'm a guy. I'm a very open guy, and you know. As long as you don't say like, ew, cheese, I hate cheese. Cheese lovers can burn in hell. You know, you do you. So I'm good. All right. Let's see. I'm going to pick one of the Nando question for next. Let me see. The one that I prefer among all the question. Okay, this one is funny. Because I don't know about you, but I know about me. Nando asked Which one of you do you think is better at solving Sudoku?
Ooh.
I had a phase. A phase that I played a lot of Sudoku. A lot.
Okay.
Like, yeah. And it's kind of like puzzle related. How about you? How do you feel about it?
So if you hadn't said that, I was inclined, based on biases here, on biases and stereotypes, to assume that I would be the better one at it. Because I'm generally pretty comfortable with math puzzles. I'm generally pretty comfortable with numbers, which, frankly, most VTubers aren't. Like,
yes, it is. It is indeed a thing.
It is very much a thing. A lot of VTubers are theater kids, and they get really stressed out about numbers. I find Sudoku's fine. I don't think I'm exceptionally good or bad at them. I think I am maybe a little bit better than among the totally random population. I'm probably a bit better than average. Among people who have solved more than 10 Sudoku puzzles in their life, I'm probably below average. Because most people give up on them pretty quickly.
I had a game on the DS, and I did Sudoku daily at some point.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah.
I've probably done maybe 100 or so Sudokus in my life.
Okay. Well, we're taking notes here. Sudoku competition? Question mark?
Possible. I suspect you would probably win. Knowing this, I suspect you would probably be the better one at it. I haven't done one in a long time.
Maybe you never know. Like me too. Actually, it's been a while. I know at some point. I was even watching some video about it. The kind of I have no number on this grid, and I fixed and I did this Sudoku kind of thing, and it's just huh?
Yeah.
There's some strategy that I have no idea. To solve some Sudoku, I'm just okay, that's
there's some
that's
high
next level.
There.
yeah.
I do know that I do Wordle every day, almost every day.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't think I qualify as super good at it because I actually have a pretty reliable strategy, so it means I almost never finish it in less than 3.
Which one is Wordle? It's the one that you have to guess the word with you start with a word and then it gives you green or yellow, right?
Yeah. You have to guess a 5-letter word.
Yeah.
Based on process elimination.
Yeah.
I'm okay at Wordle. Redactyl, I am pretty confident I can beat almost everybody on the planet.
Which one is?
Which
one you said is that? Because that's very bold take.
Redactyl's crazy. Redactyl is they take a Wikipedia page and they black out every word except for words like the and punctuation marks.
Okay.
So you guess a word and it will, if you guess a word that is inside the article, it will show up. It will be unredacted.
Okay. You said though you can beat anyone in the world.
Almost. I think that there's probably. I'm based on because they publish the stats. All these things publish the stats. I don't do it every day, but I'm frequently top 1%.
Oh, okay. I gotta look this. I gotta look this one up.
My crowning achievement was I think I got 14th Dalai Lama was the article. And I think it took me 3 guesses.
Okay.
I feel pretty strong. I feel like I'm pretty strong.
There's another one that I enjoy is you gotta find the word, and every time you type another word, it gives you how close you are depending on the thematic. What is the? No. It's for example, if it's contexto. Yes, this one, Ava. Thank you. Contexto. So basically, let's say the word of the day is boat, and you write water. Then you're gonna have a lot of quote point. You're gonna be 5 away of that word. But let's say if I write something completely unrelated, I don't know, a streamer, or television or whatever, and then it's completely not close, and it's gonna tell you oh, you're in the red, you're not even close. Yeah, contexto, I really like that one too. because you got to think. But sometimes though, I'm frustrated because I'm like, ain't no way. Like this word is not close at all of to the word. Oh, Nando, shut up. I swear he never misses one. Every time something is Portuguese, but
every time, yeah, every time.
Yes. So, okay, Redacto, you said, right? I gotta look this up.
Redacto, I'm strong at.
Okay.
A specialty one that is it's kind of a fun one is Flag Doku. That's a good obscure one.
Flag Doku. No, I don't know this one.
Yeah, you get a grid and they tell you rules on. It's like a 3x3 grid, and each row and each column has a rule. And so like the ones for today is North America is one of the rows.
Okay.
And then one of the columns is no blue and no white. So you have to think of a flag that has no blue and no white that is North America. That is in North America.
Okay.
Interesting. The first one that came to my mind was Jamaica, but it's a lot of like
absurd. But that's so like okay, so it's really precise knowledge about flags.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And you can only use one. So I just realized that that's not a good one to use because black and green and North America is one. I'm pretty sure Jamaica's the only one. I'm pretty sure Jamaica's the only black and green North American flag. So I got to think about another one for no blue and no white. But yeah, it's a very much a trivia game for a particular type of nerd.
That's
a very
particular
type of nerd.
You know what? I think one of the I like trivia in general, right? And maybe it's like I need to write this in my ideas kind of notes, but doing like a trivia kind of stream with like other people, that sounds like kind of things that it's always fun to me. I don't know. Maybe I just like trivia, but yeah.
Oh, trivia is always a nightmare because people have such like different ones.
Yeah. And depend on what you know. Yeah. All right, let's move to another question. I have one that someone wrote like recently, so I'm gonna jump to this one. I think it's a new viewer, so I'm really happy about that. I have Conrail 666, and I have no idea, but I'm gonna ask how to get burn marks out of a carpet. I'm not a carpet person. And the little experience I have is there was one summer when I was a student, I was a janitor. And that's like the most extensive I had to deal with carpets in my life. And I know that carpet is a nightmare to clean. And then burn mark, I don't know. What would do you know? Like do you deal with carpet? Are you a carpet kind of guy?
No, I am an apartment liver. And landlords don't tend to like carpets because of this exact reason.
Yeah.
And so I do have some area rugs, but again, because I'm an apartment liver, that means that my stands, the last time I got like a big burn on one of my rugs, I just threw it out.
How do you deal with it? You throw it out.
That's actually kind of the only answer I really know for dealing with burn marks on a carpet is patch it. Find some matching carpet material and cut out the burnt part of the carpet and replace it.
Oh, that makes sense.
Other than that, the only thing I can think of would be like, if it's a really shallow burn, you could trim.
Yeah, trim it. Yeah.
Yeah, like if the burn's like at all deep, that's not.
Yeah. If it's not deep, you can just trim it. Yeah.
You just have a bald spot.
Trim your carpet, everyone.
Yeah.
All right. That's very specific question. I like those. Let me get another one. We have one from Miss Janken. She asked, any tips on celebrating Christmas when Christmas is associated with bad memories? Ooh. You did say that Christmas is very important to you. For me, Christmas.
For my family, yeah.
Christmas is odd to me. I'm not a big family person, sadly, not by choice. And I feel that Christmas has never been like the peak for me, right? So I think this is more maybe of a you question, unless like your Christmas like are already pristine. But what do you think? What do you think just in general?
What do I think in general about?
Yeah, let's say like you want to enjoy something, but there's like some bad memories associated with it.
I mean, there's fundamentally 3 answers, and one of them I don't particularly like. The answer I kind of like less is the anime answer, the shonen anime answer, which is to confront it head on. I don't think this is really sensible for a lot of things. I don't think it's very sensible here. I don't think it's a very coherent answer here. I do think that more coherent answers to this question might be your 2 other options are to overwrite the memories with different memories, which is tricky, and the last one is evasion.
Yeah.
The last one is evasion.
Yeah, forget about it.
I tend to make this joke that my preferred solutions to things tend to be the dumb guy solutions. The solutions that have the least possible steps involved. I had a friend ask me recently, I don't know how to write male characters. How do I write male characters? And my first question was, well, you could just not have any male characters.
I mean, yeah.
Like Tohu doesn't have any male characters. Like you can just bitch it.
Yeah. It's true. It's true.
You don't have to. And the it's only a problem if it's a problem kind of answer. And like I said, it depends, I guess, on what your goals are. Like if that's unacceptable to you, right? Like if I have things where I don't have particularly good memories about them, and my answer is to a lot of them is just like, so I just don't think about them.
Yeah.
Like if it's like somebody who like I knew when I was younger, who like I had like a really bad falling out with, and I don't like anymore. It's like, well, I have lots of other friends. But
I think you said something, and I think to me, it's the one I would choose. Is you make such stronger memories that, and then once you made those stronger memories, it's also a matter of prioritization in your head, right? You don't always choose that, but you make them big enough that you can really like hold into these one, and you make a lot of new one. So the eventually, like humans, right? We tend to forget like what happened, and if we have like stronger memory, stronger emotion, then we might just hold on to these instead. And I think really, because we can't just like, pew, I forget, right? It's just like, I wish that was the easy solution. Just like, oh, you just pretend they don't exist, right? But sometimes like your head doesn't really make that choice. Like if you suddenly have like a memory of something, you don't make that choice all the time. So yeah, I would say I'm getting free therapy. I mean, we're answering question, sometimes there's some easy question, just like, well, what kind of food do you like? But sometimes just like, hey, like I have this problem. That's also a question, and that's okay. It's part of the answering question today, I think.
Yeah. And I mean, it's it is free. But that also means that it is not licensed. So
yes. Everything we say today, we're just like 2 dumb old men. Okay, like don't take anything like for granted. All right.
This is in terms of therapy quality. This may be a case of you're getting what you're paying for.
Yes. So, this is just opinions, right? Yeah. That's good point. It's like, oh yeah, but Alan and Janken, like they said, it's such a way. Hold on. I don't.
Yeah. That's just
take it with a grain of salt. All right, let's move on to the next question. I have Bacchus, the DM, who said, if you could send one song into space for potential alien life to find, which one would you send and why? Oh boy. I'm not a big music person. How about you?
I don't tend to think of myself as a particularly big music person, but I also know I'm more of a music person than possibly than you. Again, one of my closest people in my life is a death metal guitarist, and they're extremely a person about music, and like 90% of their opinions about the world are music opinions. So I feel like I don't have that many opinions about music, but I might be not correcting.
But do you have a song you would send? I mean, if we were to let's try to do it together. If we had a song to send, right, in space for others to be found, I think personally, it's not technically quote unquote a song, but if I wanted to show humanity as to an alien life form in its music, I would send classic.
Yeah,
I would say like Vivaldi Seasons, for example. There's like the low, the high. It's like kind of sensorial expression of like Earth.
Yeah. I think I actually think it would be kind of important to have something that has singing in it.
True.
And I guess it depends a lot on what our objectives are here. And so this is the problem with asking me this kind of questions. I'm like, well, what are our premises? You know, what are we actually thinking about? And so what is, like, do we know anything about these aliens in advance? Do we know, like...
No, you don't. You don't get to choose that. You're just sending a song.
Yeah. I mean, there's obviously a kind of obvious answer following as a synthesis point would be Hallelujah by Handel. Because I do think that having our voices in there is actually kind of value. Well, it's also, but Vex, I think it's like, even if you don't understand the words, first of all, they could possibly decode the words, which is useful, right? It's nice to give somebody something to decode. But I think that also just in terms of experiencing the texture of what a people is like, I think that understanding what they can do with their bodies is helpful. That's kind of why I'm thinking that like something that has some singing in it, even if it's gibberish. Let's go with the gamer answer though, and go with Baba Yetsu.
The what?
Baba Yetsu, the Civilization 4 theme.
Oh,
it's in Zulu.
I mean, I won't lie. That's kind of a big, a good pick. Like Civilization, like team.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's actually. You know, it makes sense. There's like a lot of orchestra kind of in it. So, but there's also like singing. Okay. All right. The gamer pick wins here.
The gamer pick. The gamer's pick.
That's pretty good. Good question. Thank you, Bacchus. Let's see. Crowd sent 2 questions. Let me just check. Okay, there's he has 2 questions. There's a funny one that we can answer fast. Okay. Why do you two like visually block chat with pure, massive, unavoidable bulk and muscles and presence so much?
I'm just gonna blame you.
Me? Oh hell no! Oh hell no! Look at this! No! I have control. I have control today. Do you see how massive this men are? Do you see how massive he is? He is bigger than me. Okay.
I enter the VTube Studio collab room, and I resize myself to be on matching height with Janken, and I make myself match him over the vertical, and that's how I set myself up. I am following Janken's lead. If Janken wants us to block chat less, he can just move us both down a little bit.
To be honest, though, the shoulder that we have, it's always a challenge in a lot of ways. So sometimes it's just like it's Shogun and I just enjoy the large man on screen.
Yeah. Well, it's I mean, these are the word that EG uses is heroic proportions. Not going on here.
Exactly. All right.
And I mean, be grateful it's not my PNG. My PNG is like even more silly.
No, let's not start with this.
Yeah.
the stretching. No. All right, let me read the real question that Crowd sent. What were the childhood dreams, and were they ever fulfilled?
My main childhood dream was it was to study dinosaurs.
Oh.
I was a dinosaurs kid.
I love dinosaurs too.
I loved reading about dinosaurs and going to the museum and looking at the dinosaur skeletons and thinking about dinosaurs and learning about dinosaurs. And like the earliest thing that I can remember saying like I want to be when I grow up was paleontologist. Was like the earliest thing. So technically no, but I never became a paleontologist, or an archaeologist for that matter, but I do still study the past. My interest has shifted less from literal dinosaurs to more metaphorical dinosaurs. So technically no, spiritually I think I kind of did.
All right. For me, it wasn't really childhood, more teenage. But it's a simple one. I wanted to live in Japan. And you know the answer.
Yeah.
It took a long time.
It would have been so funny if you had said be a VTuber.
No, it's impossible. We did not exist when we were a child.
Yeah.
Maybe
I didn't know what it was. I had no idea what it was, but I just remember waking up one day and saying, "Mom, I want to be a VTuber." Nobody knew what it was for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years.
But yeah, living in Japan, and now I'm just like, yeah, Japan is fine.
Yeah,
there's some good, there's some bad, you know.
I mean, I mean, this is the conversation that I think that we've all had a million times with folks who are going through some sort of various type of mental health crises or another, various types of midlife crises. Is I want to move to X, that'll solve all my problems. It's like, well, wherever you go, there you are. You know, like, you're not really going to solve your problems by being in a different location. You're just going to be in a different location. And it does depend on what your problem is. You know, if your problem is that your house is flooding and you want to be somewhere dry, then like, okay, yes, going somewhere that's not flooded is going to help. But
it does teach you a lot, though. You know,
it does.
It really taught me a lot of things. It really also made me love more Quebec and appreciate it more. Than before, like by a lot. So it's kind of weird.
Has made me, the number one thing that has made me like more pro-American has been hanging out around Europeans as a result of VTubing.
Interesting, isn't it?
Particularly the British make me like really patriotic.
Because I don't want to be Brit.
Oh my goodness! Thank God I'm not one of these guys. No, I can definitely see that. I mean, I've lived abroad at a few points in my life, and it's very eye opening. It's very eye opening, and it's I mean, it's all those things that people, when you're young in particular, like when you're a teenager, you don't often quite understand that literally every country on the planet has its own problems.
Yeah.
And my big brain philosophy take here is that it turns out that it's actually just really hard to manage large groups of people.
Yes.
Like, the relationships between large groups of people are actually really complicated, and every culture has their own system for how they approach this problem, and all of these approaches have weaknesses.
I do think though, if time and finance was more possible, I think every human beings would benefit if they could like world travel. Just you don't even need to do much in a new country. Just being there and being like, holy shit, this is how like the world is here. Just that, just that. You haven't done anything. You're just like instantly being like, your world is like kind of like shaken. because you see it on the news, you see it on the internet, but when you're there, your 2 feet are in somewhere new, and you're just like, wow, reality is like completely different here, even if we're all like on the same earth. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, we're all on the same. It is pretty crazy. It's pretty wild stuff. And it's pretty it's also just very the thing I think about a lot, because of like the people I know and the peccadillos of the people who annoy me in my life, because we all have that, right? We all have people we love, but they also get on our nerves. The tendency that is very common among the people who get on my nerves the most frequently, which are, again, some of the closest people in my life, like my brothers, is assuming that specific cultural norms that are like literally just their high school friends are cultural universals.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, it's crazy.
And like,
that
people don't even do that. People don't even do that in like New York.
Yeah.
People don't even do that in our hometown. It was literally just you and your friends.
Yeah, no, but I get it. I get it.
Yeah, this is one that's telling. Like about how Janken will probably understand a little bit more. I have a brother who doesn't call to let you know that he's running late to an appointment ever, and I once kept track, and he missed 99 appointments.
Wow.
That we set up.
But there are some people, though, it's their way of life. It's just like, they're always late. It's just how they, I don't know. It's a decision. That's how they're going to live.
And I live in New York. And like, no, like you call somebody because everybody's busy as hell. Everybody's working 2 or 3 jobs. So like if you're running more than, you owe somebody an explanation if you're more than 5 minutes late to something.
I think so.
Yeah, and he's like, he doesn't think he owes you an explanation if he's less than 6 hours late to something.
But I want to go on that topic, but I think like we could go in some. It's just, I think it's just also the society we're living in. Like nowadays, ghosting people is fine now, and it's just like, no, it's not, and especially it's the craziest shit.
Yeah,
I'm gonna rant, and then we're gonna change question.
Yeah, then we're gonna rant. Yeah.
Even if in our sphere of VTuber and that kind of stuff, you would think the highest, the professional, the more professional someone is, the less like ghosting and not communicating and not answering and yada yada would happen. But it's simply the opposite. Is that like there's this mentality that no, you're not worth my time. I am gonna ignore you. I'm gonna ghost. I'm not even gonna tell you if something is going on. I'm ranting because like during the tournament, right? And I know
I'm wondering. I think we're coming from a place.
And I know it's okay. People are busy, and I'm the most understanding people. Anyone who has dealt with me know how understanding and calm and patient I can be. I'm not internally. I'm like, but I'm like, it's okay. It's okay. People have life. People are busy. Yeah. But I'm just like, sometimes just like, answer me, for fuck's sake, like, please. And then that kind of stuff. And it's, I don't know. And it just reminded me when you were saying like there are some people like they will always be late and never say anything. But I think it's just like this is also socially I don't know. There's something about ignoring is becoming more and more. Maybe it's a segue to what you were saying earlier, right? Maybe a lot of people this is how they deal with their problem. Oh, I'm just gonna ignore everything.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. That's true. I will say that this was like it was. I was thinking that you were going to bring up the tournament as soon as you started on this because so this is definitely an explanation of like a cultural even like very small differences. Like Janken invites me to the server. I join the server. I say okay, cool, and then he's like, okay, it's on like December 7th, and I'm like, well, I don't really have to do very much until like 2 or 3 days before, so I can just kind of chill out on this. And then like a couple weeks later, Janken's like, dude, you gotta start responding to stuff in the server.
No,
and I'm like,
he could not.
I was like, it's fine. It's fine.
literally, I was telling people, all right, there's something new. I'm sending you this. Please confirm that you had it. Because communication is very important. Yeah. But it's fine because we've been communicating a lot, and I know, and I'm good at understanding, like I said, and I'm good at understanding personality too, and their importance on some stuff. For me, I'm like, you DM me, I'm like, I'm on the ball. I'm here, I'm there, hi. It's my job daily to be that kind of personality, but it's not everyone, and I understand that, right?
Yeah,
but there's some time where I'm just like, okay, now I really need you to answer. There's some times where I'm just like, I'm patient, but sometimes I'm just like, I'm being a non-call, and I'm like, well, come on, kid, I need the answer now. but it's all good. It's all good in the end. Yeah. The ghosting part, that's not good.
No, it's not great. It's not great. Well, I part of my own hypothesis about this is so Miss Janken says, I think tech made it easy. So I used to work in a position where I made a lot of hiring related decisions, and after I was a professor, before I was a VTuber, I did a lot of hiring related stuff. And I remember I put out a position where we had one opening. Okay, one opening. There was one opening, and I got over 400 applicants.
Woo! Let's go.
Who made it to the interview stage.
Okay. Oh wow.
I did 400 interviews.
I thought you meant 400 just general. No, but I made an interview. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And so there's at least in the world of recruiting, there is a race to the bottom where it's so easy to apply to things. The barrier to entry to finding a job and applying to it is such that you want to apply to as many jobs as you can. And the solution that they have on the HR side is to be even lazier about throwing out applicants and throwing them out for minor things. And the solution to that is to apply to more things. From a user, there's a race to the bottom where both sides have no real strategy other than to speed up. And one of those things that gets dropped really quickly in it is sending rejection letters. That gets dropped really, really quickly. And I partially bring this up because people are going to be like, well, but that's just recruiting. Well, that's just recruiting. The thing is that a large percentage of everything that happens in society follows from the basic economic activities of that society. Hunter-gatherer societies tend to have a lot of things in common. One of those, I can talk about the anthropologists a lot, but in general, big economic things are really, really, they suffuse themselves throughout the rest of the culture. And so we all have this power relationship, those of us who work day jobs, where we are at the mercy of these unseen mega corporations that make these abstract choices about how much food we're going to have on our table. And that's our main economic relationship. And so that we learn this habit from them. We learn this habit that once we learn that the most important thing in the world for most of us, which is whether or not we got the goddamn job, once we learn that the answers are either yes or silence, that teaches us that in the rest of our life, the answers are yes or silence.
Holy shit. Wow. No, but that's so good what you just said. It's wow. Yeah, you're right. I think we maybe have been conditioned. Anyway, we went from childhood dream to being conditioned by our society to be silent.
The ghost.
Wow, man. Wow. Okay. But that's really good. Maybe we should definitely keep that type of topic for and one that we have topic, because I'm kind of mind blown. I'm kind of like, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe we just we were just put into that that situation. Anyway, yeah. Oh man, that's so good. Okay. I'm gonna go with a new question because I know us. We can take a topic and turn it on its head.
I can talk about this for 2 hours. Like, this alone would be 2 hours.
Yes.
Like I guess I'm holding myself back from talking about the anthropology behind it.
Let's go with really simple question about us. Both of your this is from Kabul. Both of your models have glasses. Have either of you tried contacts?
Oh, okay. Actually, no. This so I don't know if people have been noticing. I've been taking my eye tracking has been changing over the course of this stream. And so it should be good right now, and it should have been bad about a minute ago. And that's because I wear glasses in real life.
Yes, same.
Yeah. And this was actually like I literally this was one of those things like we were talking about this before stream.
Yes.
I literally said, wait a second, Janken, this is something we want to talk about on stream. This is for streaming.
Yes.
Go live. My vision is so bad. I want everybody to do an experiment. So hold your hand, fingers open. Hold your hand with your fingers open, palm open, fingers open. Put the palm of your hand against your nose. And then slowly draw your hand away from your face.
I have a big problem for that.
Yeah, you're gonna block your camera tracking.
No, not only that. I'll tell you afterward.
Yeah. So when I do that, my fingers blur into the background at around 10 centimeters. That's about the distance at which my vision goes to completely worthless. So I mostly am just using this to say that I am blind right now. I can't see anything.
But could you have contact?
I can wear contacts. I find them pretty uncomfortable.
I see.
And I started wearing glasses when I was young.
Yeah, me too.
Young. And so I have this particular experience, right, where I'll walk down the street. I'll be walking on the sidewalk and a car will drive past. And I will hear a little tink 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 sound. A little tick 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 tink 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 sound. That is the grit from the road. The sand and grit from the road hitting my glasses.
Huh.
And every single time I hear that sound, I go, thank God I'm not wearing contacts.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. I also, real serious piece of old man advice, do not do the educational pathway that I did. My educational pathway included finishing an entire bachelor's in chemistry. This was one of the dumbest decisions of my life.
What happened?
I just never did anything with it afterwards. I just literally never got a job related to chemistry after I got an entire degree in it. Like, it's stupid. Total waste of time.
Well, like my degree is not used either.
Yeah. And so one of those things that you learn very hard and strong in the chemistry lab is never contacts.
Yes.
Yeah. Like relatively chemicals that are kind of bad to get in your eyes are potentially permanently disabling if you're wearing contacts. So,
okay.
So I have contacts. They're probably expired because I haven't touched them in like 2 years. If there's certain situations where I'll wear them, like if I want to wear certain types of safety equipment where I need like full face covering. Other than that, no, I just don't like them. I find them uncomfortable and expensive.
I never even tried.
Oh, okay.
Because I have very messed up vision. I have the French word might come out here because I'm not sure in English. We have the myopia. Okay. The one that like you can see like from far. You can see far away, and I have I always forget the name of it, but one of my eyes that is not round. It's kind of like football shape. It's what's the name? I'm sure someone in chat. We have the global. We have the hive mind in chat. Someone will definitely find it. So yeah, in this condition, I was told when I was young, but I'm sure it changed now, that you can't have contact for that, for that issue. And the other thing that happened, I had very astigmatism. Yes, thank you. And I had an operation in one of my eyes because I have cataract.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Even if I'm like, I'm not an old man. Usually, when they did tell me I had that, I was like, "Isn't that for old people?" And they're like,
Yes,
"No,
it
you can have them at any age apparently." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And they were like, "Okay, we're gonna do that. We're gonna like clean your cataract, and we're also going to change your crystalline, the thing like the crystal in your eyes, right? That's gonna fix partially your myopia." And the problem that they didn't tell me is that did fix my a little bit, but it cuts. It makes me blind to close. It reverse basically the condition. So I have one eyes without my glasses. I can see far away, okay-ish, but I can't see from up close. And then the other eyes is completely opposite. I can't see from far away, but I can see from up close. It's crazy.
Oh,
I have crazy vision.
That's crazy. I have enough problem that my left eye and my right eye are just like very slightly different prescriptions, and so they're a slightly different prescription for my glasses because they're my glasses. But for my contacts, the eye doctors are just like, this difference is so subtle, we don't care. We're just gonna round it. And so like when I put in contacts, I just have like a headache for like a couple hours every single time. While I get adjusted to it. Also, I have to give 9ball credit for the good name. Yeah.
He's the one who has the question, actually.
Yes, excellent. Yeah, you have crazy eyes, man. That's crazy. I just have bad eyes. I merely have bad eyes. My eyes are merely very bad.
But who knows? Maybe I should inquire about contacts. Maybe I could wear them. Because, VTubing in glasses is not super compatible. Like, it's fine. It's okay. But it does show when I don't wear my glasses. The result, I mean. We were Janken was asking, like, can you, like, your eye tracking is like weird, and I'm like, I'm looking at like my inputs in VTube Studio, and it's like, oh, this is like I'm moving my eyes and there's no change in the eye axis. It's because of the glasses. So very apropos question with the things we were doing after it. All right, let's go for another question here. I have a question from Rain. School semester just ended and I'm thinking of changing majors. Since you're both teachers, well, you're a much more teacher than me at one point, any thoughts regarding the topic?
Okay. I actually have a lot of thoughts on this one. Do you want me to jump in, or do
you have more, so you're going to talk more. For me, I personally changed in college. My it was not a major, but it was more the orientation. Like and I was not happy, and it was not for me, and I had problems, and I switched. And after that, I was a lot more focused. That's more what that I wanted to do. Even if it's gonna take more time, it sucks. But you go to school once, and then you don't go back to school. So at least like make it into something worthwhile, even if like you have to change and it takes more time. That my simple thought. What do you have to say about it?
So my main thought is that there's kind of two big approaches to your college major. One is that your college major is in something you really care about and really want to do something with, and that means that you really want to try to be the best of the best at it. And in which case, the most important thing by far for determining who is going to be the best by the end of college. For the first couple of years, it's not as true, but once you're getting to your 300 plus level classes and talking about graduate schools, the most important thing is passion. No amount. The way I kind of think about it is, think about a car. Think about a car, and there are better and worse engines in that car, right? There are better and worse engines in that car. That engine is your talent. The passion is your fuel.
Yeah.
And the last couple of parts of the process of winnowing down who is going to be a historian, who is going to be a mathematician, who is going to be a physicist, the passion guys are going to win. They win 100 times out of 100. Nobody is talented enough to overcome being bored. That's just not true. It is fundamentally not true for any sort of remotely academic pursuit. There's no amount of being talented at physics that will overcome not giving a shit about.
But it sucked, then, is it? Doesn't it? Like you think about it. Like I'm so good at it. I'm so good at it. But I hate it. It's boring. But I'm good at it. It's so.
I will say
sad.
that another part of this, if we're talking more about this, is more coming from the academic side rather than other parts of it. What I'm going to say next, the most important question for who is a good academic is: do you come up with good questions? Having good, interesting, novel questions is way more important than any of the answers you come up with. Because that can always be dealt with gumption and process and talking to others, but actual hard the answers always follow from the questions, and researchers care about the questions, and oftentimes the answers are impossible. This is especially true in mathematics, right? In mathematics, the answers in mathematics are always either really easy or literally impossible. So it's you want to follow your passion, because the passion is going to carry you so much further than anything else. The passion is going to win. I want
to add something. Actually, it's my question. Yeah. When I was in university, I love having questions. I always have a lot of questions. Like my teachers were always telling me thank you for asking questions. No one asks questions. I love having questions. I am full of questions all the time. But man, that didn't make me likes academic. I love having those questions, and they love answering me, and I love talking. That part in university, the best. Talking and not having to do a freaking essay that I don't care about, that is taking so much time, and that is long for just being long. I don't care. But being in a class, sitting, talking about shit, about things, how they work, and pondering, love that. But all the other thing from academic is that's bullshit.
I mean, I'm a former professor, right? I could be a still active professor if I really wanted to. So it's not like I have this totally glowing position on what it's like to be an academic or anything like that. I'm just saying that if you're wondering about finishing your major and taking that major further, passion is more important than talent.
Yeah.
The other part of it, so that's one approach, right? Is that you want to go further. You want to really pursue the field you're studying. You're taking chemistry and you really want to be a chemist. You're taking physics, you really want to be a physicist. You're taking history, you really want to be a historian. If you're on the other approach, so your college major is that you just simply want to have the letters after your name because of all the doors that it opens up to you in the rest of society. Having a bachelor's or a higher degree opens up a lot of doors in the rest of society. It's just the way of it. People will assume things about you. Jobs in particular will assume things about you. I have worked in several fields that had very little to do with my formal education, where my education was still important, right? They would literally not look at my application unless I had certain degrees, even though the actual content of those degrees didn't matter.
Yeah.
So if that's what your approach, if you are taking arts, but what you actually want to do is work in human resources or something like that, also just do what you're passionate about anyway, because the thing that's going to determine whether or not you actually finish your degree and how painful it's going to be to finish your degree is how unfun are your 300 and 400 level classes going to be. So choose ones that you're interested in, so that at least you're not miserable when you're taking them.
Yeah. No, for sure. No, but that I think so. Right? It's if the paper is what you're after, no, don't change, right? You're just after the.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on it depends on your logic for changing, right? This is my point. If you're changing because you find your current subject boring as hell and you hate it and you're going to claw your eyes out if you go to another physics lecture, please switch. Like, please, also, but if you're changing because like you think that it will like abstractly look better on a resume 10 years from now, it won't. They don't give a shit.
Yeah. So just quick thank you for the raid. Hello, Azishi. Welcome. Today is a question stream for me and Almantas. So if you have any question for all the raiders that came in, you can just like drop a question in the box in the chat. But I hope that did help. I think you're right. I think it's exactly those reasons that should be considered in that case.
Absolutely.
All right, let's go. But that's an important question, so I hope we did help. But don't forget, it's also just our opinion. Now let me see. Next question is from Mars24. What did you guys do to gain that much muscle? Oh, actually, there's look at you. You look like you've eaten so much protein. All right, I'll take this one because I don't know about you, Al, but now I'm getting a bit older and I'm not really into that. But it's simple. If you want to get muscle, you go to the gym and you respect a very careful planning of your time to not burn out. You don't go 100% crazy because you can, but it's all about time. It takes time. It takes effort. Go to the gym. Go online. Check for a good routine that you can get easily online. And yes, there was a time where protein was an easy way for me to help to increase my protein take outside of all the natural way that you can have also protein. And sweat and then lift and time. there's no real answer outside of that, to be honest.
Unfortunately, there is a certain element of luck.
Yes. Some people, oh my God, they were always telling me, Janken, I'm so jealous. Like even as a big guy, they were like, I'm just so jealous. I have a tiny frame. I can't build muscle without hurting myself. So
I will make the probably more important point here. I think exercise is really important. I think exercise is very, very important. I do not think it is good to start from a position of looking at a body type and then trying to mold your body into that. That is the realm of literal bodybuilders. It is very difficult, and it isn't necessarily the best thing to do for your health. They are doing a specific thing, and if you really want to do that, talk to them and think very long and hard about it. I do think that general health, you should exercise, and I will say that you should do what you can. To John Ken's point, John Ken is correct. If you want to get big, figure out what your 1 rep max is, and do about 80% of that. In sets of 3s.
But don't hurt yourself. If you hurt yourself, you're just very
important. Yes. I still screw up exercises that I have done for years. I knocked myself out for 2 weeks by doing 1 deadlift wrong, like a month ago.
Actually, for me, it's kind of a sad story. The reason that I don't train as much as maybe 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I was that was my life. Is because there was a point where I went back to after I finished university, I got a new job and I was really busy and I kind of dropped a lot of my gym time. And at some point I was just like, oh my God, I'm kind of losing it. And then I went back in the mentality that like I had like a year prior with my body not being used as much anymore, and I fucked myself. I really I went to the hospital, and they found out problems, and I since then maybe this is why I don't do it as much out of the fear. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's serious. Like, don't respect your body. Respect your body.
Yeah. I think that deadlifts are one of the greatest exercises because I come from a family with a lot of back pain, and I've got back pain comes to me pretty easily. And deadlifts are incredible at dealing with back pain. Just absolutely incredible for back pain. But I say, follow your body and do what you can. I actually really like running. Running's actually my favorite exercise.
I can't recommend running though. Like I've seen so many pieces saying that's so bad for your knee over time. Like, it's
actually really complicated because there's also very good evidence that it's very good for your knee because the impact rebuilds things. Like, it's complicated.
Yeah, it's complicated.
It's complicated. You can hurt yourself very badly while running.
Yeah.
And actually, this is one of those cases where, like, about respecting your body, right? Because, like,
yes,
when I was first getting into running, I remember being like, I feel incredible. This feels amazing. I want to be running. I was following a specific program for, like, getting your endurance up to a specific level. I was called the Couch to 5K program. And I was a couple weeks in, and I was like, I love this. I want to run more to see if I can make more progress. And I went and asked some guys who are like much more experienced runners, and unanimously they all said, do not do that. Do not do that because this program has already been calculated to deal with your bone recovery. And you can't feel your bone problems before they start. Like, you need to, like, you can easily overtrain in running. It's very easy to overtrain in running.
I'm sure.
And it's hard to listen to your body in that particular case because it's your bones. It's your bones rebuilding after you run on them. And so, like, yeah, you can really wreck your body very easily with almost any exercise.
Yeah.
But I do recommend, if particularly because I assume that quite a few of the people watching VTubers play a lot of video games and spend a lot of time reading.
Yeah,
and
I wouldn't go from like I'm playing video games, I'm sitting too much and to running. Like,
if you are, do the Couch to 5K program, right? Like do it. Proceed. If you're going to pick up lifting, do like starting strength or something like that. Do something. And honestly, even if you're in like no shape at all, like it is not. There's no shame in doing like wall push-ups.
No, yeah,
right?
yeah.
There's no shame in meeting your body where it's at. Do things that are.
I'll be super honest. I'll be like, I'm kind of telling a bit about myself, almost too much. Yeah. When I was young, I had big weight issue when I was pretty young. And trust me, if you think, oh, I can't do it, start literally by like, you do one push-up. You do one push-up until you can do two push-up. And until you can do 3 push-up. And it sounds silly, but because you're like, what's the point? Like, I'm doing 1, like it's nothing. You think it's nothing, but we live in such a world. Again, we're bringing back that topic. Everything has to be fast, now.
Yeah.
But it's not how it works. It takes time. Like, building those muscle, building like this strength, building this stamina. It takes time. It's just how it is. It sucks. Like, yes, we just want everything right now. It's so silly that even me, I'm impatient most of the time. But yeah, give yourself the time to respect your time and your body.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. And my general rule of thumb is just 30 minutes twice a week where you are doing things that are substantially harder than what you do during the rest of the week for your body. Like a concentrated period of time where you are either lifting or out of breath at a level that is above what you do normally, because that's how you be safe when you do other things.
Myself, I have to. I have to get back into it.
Because this is a thing that I remember somebody pointing out a few years ago that I thought was really interesting. So you've got a guy who works at a really hard blue collar job, right? They're doing this job where they're like lifting boxes and blah blah blah. They're actually probably going to get injured a lot, because that means that they are going at their maximum 50% of the time.
Yeah.
If they're not doing any other exercises, they're doing their maximum 50% of the time, which is crazy. If you want to be safe while you're doing a job that's like that's where you're like lifting heavy boxes, you should be doing lifts that are like twice as heavy as any of those boxes on the regular. Like it's you want to be thinking about where your body is at and just be a little bit harder. If that harder is like almost nothing, then almost nothing times 1.5 is a good start point.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's good. That's good. I think even for me, this topic is good. Like I said, I need to get back into it. Too much of sitting.
Too much to run today. I might run after this, even though it's
all right. He's. Oof.
I love it.
He might be younger physically than me.
I didn't pick up running again until I ran when I was young, and then I picked up running again in middle age. I'm very much in the geezer brigade.
But it's all good. It's all good. You know, there's no age, so it doesn't matter. All right.
I mean, at the old folks home, they're doing physical therapy all the time.
So exactly. Yeah. Now the next question is really interesting, and I'm not gonna be the good person to reply. I'll try my best. I'll let you insert this first. It says, this is from Marky 1929. Okay, so this is a lighter topic, but how do I dress professionally while staying attractive as a relatively young man? I have ideas for that.
I have a thought,
but I don't apply to them.
I have a thought, which is, think about your goals. You say, how do I stay attractive and professional? And why do you need to do both at the same time?
Yeah, exactly.
Why do you feel the need to do both at the same time?
But then again, it depends on what is attractive here. Personally, I think
really
that a tight suit with a nice tie, a nice shirt under, like very clean pants, clean shoes, like that's attractive. Like as long as it's like, not like the boring like salary man, like black and then white shirt and a black tie and just like a loose fit, So it really depends here, I think, on attractive. Like if you mean trendy and hip, maybe it's not. Maybe the suit is not it, right? But as an older man, I don't know about you, but I think I'm like, yeah, that guy, he looks like sharp. What do you think?
I actually hate the way suits look.
Yeah? See, exactly, right? Exactly.
Yeah,
depends.
Yeah, it really depends. Attractiveness is a very subjective
thing.
I think that I've actually been reading, for some insane reason, I've been reading D Workwear over on Twitter and Blue Sky, the menswear guy. And he makes this point that I think is really kind of interesting, which is that kind of the point of dressing well is to change your silhouette.
Yes.
So when people, so don't listen to the advice that's basically like, try to wear a suit that is like super tight fitting, because like at a certain point you were better off wearing a onesie, and are you sure that you're more attractive wearing a leotard? Are you sure about that one? Are you sure that is actually the best way for you to look?
It's really interesting because in Japan, I'm gonna say the trend is a very loose fit, but there's a lot of Japanese. They're just tiny little Japanese. So if they dress really, really fit, they would look just like sticks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, having a looser fit, like if you control your fit, how you, like you said, right? How you appear, it doesn't really matter what you wear. It's really a matter of how you want your fit to be on you.
Yes.
right? Maybe so for some people, a loose fit doesn't like really enhance how they look.
Yeah.
But for some people, it would be a better fit. So yeah.
And so Marky follows up with, "Should have included related ideas related to like hair and facial hair." So it's again, this is one of those things that's going to change quite a bit. I am very much a beard guy.
Wow.
In real life, I love having a beard, and I actually have pretty long hair in real life.
Oh.
And so there's some things here that are kind of complicated, right? In general, for things like hair, the big questions are making sure that it continues to look neat. It did actually just hit me. I just was hit with a bolt of lightning about a thing that I get complimented on that is an easy one to enact to make yourself look better than other men. Keep your nails clean. Women notice that one. women very much notice that one. Do keep your nails clean. That is a lot of men do not. Do keep your nails clean. Keep your nails clean and trim. People will notice. But in terms of like hair and facial hair, it's mostly just kind of about making it look like it's taken care of.
Yes.
And clean. That's like 90% of the fight. I will say that shaping a beard is actually a pain in the ass.
Yes.
Real pain in the neck. It's a real wizardry that I have not mastered. But also different hairs have different needs. So I have white people curly hair. And I specify this because I've mostly lived in black neighborhoods. And so when they say curly hair, they mean like really tight curls.
Yes.
And it turns out that my hair is still curly enough that using normal white people hair care makes it extremely frizzy and greasy at the same time. It's awful. It looks terrible.
My hair is like the simplest kind of hair ever. so I'm lucky, but yeah, having curly hair.
My hair is actually really easy to take care of. The trick was to stop shampooing it.
Interesting.
That was the big part. Was like don't shampoo it and don't rub it dry. But like I had to look this up and research this and learn this because I've had long hair in the past where it looked awful and was fraying and frizzy and just terrible. And so you have to think about what are do some research on how those things look and how they work for you. So and I will be blunt, the biggest thing, Marky, this feels like a very young guy question. That like because you asked in such an open-ended way. The biggest question is feeling comfortable with your own appearance. That's the biggest question.
Yeah, because me, I don't give a shit. I'm at the point where literally I don't care, right? Yeah. So it's all about like what's the level of how much you care about your appearance, like you're saying, right?
Yeah. Well, what I was going for was so I don't like suits. Right, as mentioned before, I don't like the way they look. They put me on edge to even like be around. They're like my least favorite piece of clothing. But I've spent a lot of time around punks. I've spent a lot of time around punks and metalheads. And so studded biker jackets with lots of patches are something that I'm pretty used to, and I'm used to thinking of those as pretty normal things for a person to wear. But
you don't go to work with that.
No. What I'm going for is like that's a very clear difference between being attractive and being professional, and also a very clear difference where there are absolutely people who think that's very attractive. There are extremely people who think that ratty jackets with spikes and mohawks and dyed hair and tattoos are all super attractive, and there are definitely some people who are very vocal about how much they dislike those exact things.
Yeah.
So think about who you want to be attractive to.
Yeah. I mean, it should be yourself first, no?
I feel like it does suck to look in the mirror and feel bad about how you look. Like that's the thing you want to avoid.
Because that's the thing, I think, especially young men. I think especially young men. Because I think women, they want to look good to themselves more than men. But I feel young men often they don't do it for themselves. And there's this kind of thing I feel where just like you gotta look good, you gotta be like, you know, like one of the thing I really like to compare is it's gonna be out the box, okay? Birds, right? Birds.
Yeah.
Male birds, most of the time, are always the flashiest one. They gotta impress. They gotta go and do that little dance, and because it's like kind of it's nature, right? It's just this kind of thing. Gotta impress, dress to impress, kind of thing. I'm not talking about the game, but in that sense, I think there's this mentality where we do it a lot to impress. But the first person we forget about, I think, is ourselves.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important that like we kind of like remember that first, and then like impress the gallery, you know.
Going to make a brief aside here because Marky said intrusive thought is wanting to look good in armor, like Monster Hunter or Knight armor. Having known, like if you look at, you can find armors. There are people who make real armor, like Todd's Workshop over on YouTube. I say over on YouTube, like I'm not currently on YouTube. I'm so used to being on Twitch. But like Todd's Workshop does like real armor, and it completely destroys your form. Like you don't look like everybody looks the same in armor. You're just bigger or smaller. Especially if it's like plate armor or like arming plates in particular. You just look like a guy in armor. But what I will. So and a thing that getting into a deep thought here, big brain thought here. Women, I think, are usually better at understanding this, and I think specifically because women are very much more often socially coerced into being super self-conscious about their appearance. We have a culture, pretty much every culture, but specifically the culture that I'm from, which is American culture, is constantly telling women about their appearance, and so they're used to it. They are used to it. They're forced. Yeah, women are trained from birth to hate their bodies. Yes, that's very accurate, Miss Janken. And so when men are introduced to the concepts of other people are judging them for how they look, it's like a psychological apex, like a psychological invasive species. It's like a disease that you have no immunity to for a lot of men. They're not at all acculturated to the idea that they can be thoughtful about this, and that there's a difference in feeling between how other people feel about their appearance and how they feel about their appearance. There are definitely people in my life who do not like certain things about my appearance that I love, that I absolutely love. My mom does not like my beard. I hate how I look without a beard, and it's my body. So I'm going to keep having it.
Tell me about it. It's like a baby.
Mine's worse, man. Mine's worse. I've got a Beaker from the Muppets.
Who?
Beaker from the Muppets.
Beaker, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I look like when I'm clean shaven. just mouth to neck, no break. I like having a beard. I like having long hair. I dress in a very nerdy style, and I really like it. And this is all kind of to say that I think that men, when they first start thinking about their appearance and how to appear, they forget that they are one of the people who gets a vote, and in many ways they are the person who gets the most votes, because you get a vote on your appearance at least every single day.
Yeah. I mean,
at the very least, you are getting it every single day, probably quite a bit more than that.
Yeah. I don't...
so you should... Wait,
something very silly.
Mm-hmm.
I think I don't do it enough. And you say you get at least a vote a day, but women will spend a lot of time in like making their makeup, like in the bathroom, that kind of thing. But you have no idea how much I don't watch myself in the mirror.
Yeah.
But I think it does help a lot. Like just taking the time to look yourself up, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of silly. It's just like kind of reminded me, because when you said that, like you get a voice at least once a day. I was like, but if I don't look at myself. But yeah, I think that just like, you know, looking at yourself, getting like a kind of like good look, just like, all right, cool. And then you go for your day. But sometimes I think we live in such a kind of crazy society. Everything is fast and everything gotta go. Like we don't take the time to do that. I don't know. I just realized when you said it, it's like maybe I don't. Maybe I don't actually take the time to take that vote. That like you just said, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And it's and in a lot of ways, you're the person who's got the most important vote about it. Because you're the one who's going to feel bad about it all the time.
Yeah.
And yeah, this Janken hits on an important part. Is that clothes are part of communications?
Ah, yes.
So this is a bit of an aside. I think part of the reason why I have this antipathy towards suits in particular is, again, I come from academia, right? I come from academia, from this very academic world. And in academia, you walk into a room, right? You walk into a room and there's a lecture happening and there's, 15 people. Right, it's a 15-person discussion, and one person is wearing a suit, and nobody else is wearing a suit. That's fairly common to happen. What is that one person wearing a suit doing there?
I don't know. What are they doing there?
They are almost certainly from administration or accounting, and they're looking for an excuse to cut the class.
Oh, you are no. That is illegal. Maybe they like suits and they think they look good in a suit. I'm saying
that is when you're in an academic context, that's usually the assumption. Actually, Marky, usually the professor is the worst dressed person in the room. Usually the worst dressed person.
If anything, this is one of the reasons that I personally hate clothes. Because people read communication that you're just not giving a fuck about, and people read into it way too much about like, that guy is overdressed. Maybe he just like to dress like that and he's just like going on his day. Like maybe there's absolutely no meaning here, right? That's the thing. Yes, it's communication, but sometimes it's just like because you read into something, you read into that communication, but maybe you're completely wrong in that message.
That's possible. But it's worth, it's okay, that's kind of funny. Marky points out that he's in engineering. I was not in engineering, right? I think all the time about an anthropology professor I had who
he's been around too many hippies, of course.
I'm very much from hippies. And professors tend to be hippies. Professors tend to
not
be hippies.
Not all of them. Depends on the field. No. Like doctors and that stuff, like they would not like probably.
I didn't say. I said 10. I did not say all of them. I did not say 100%. I just said 10. But I remember one of my professors who's like one of the more important ones I dealt with. Like he was a person like you needed to impress and be serious around, and like had national level the kind of guy who like really was pulling on the purse strings and really had real power. Cargo pants all the time. Wore mesh vests all the time. Had a beard that was like one of the least well-kept beards I've ever seen. And this guy was power. And that's also one of those things that's kind of interesting about being in like really big institutions, particularly ever since what's his fucking name, the Apple guy, Jobs. Steve Jobs really established it very much as the norm that one of the privileges of power in large organizations is the privilege to dress like a slob.
I wanted to say exactly that because I've read online at some point, I don't remember, that they say that if you're rich, you should like dress like a poor person.
Yeah. And it's been interesting to watch. Zuckerberg over the last year has particularly changed from being a guy who dressed in a very particular specific way of literally the exact same t-shirt every single day and one of the worst haircuts on the planet. He specifically was trying to dress like Octavian he wanted Octavian's haircut of all the damn people in all of history. He wanted Octavian's haircut. And now he dresses. He's grown out his hair and he dresses in like Japanese streetwear. Wearing these like He's wearing these like double oversized hoodies with lettering all up and down them.
I see.
It's interesting. It's really interesting. But yeah, Steve Jobs. I in case anybody's wondering about Steve, you think Steve Jobs dressed well because of retrospect. At the time, people thought he looked like an idiot. And also, Steve Jobs literally didn't shower for like months at a time, and he stinks like hell, and everybody told him, and he just was like, no, you're lying to me. He just thought everybody was gaslighting him about that. So
it's the first time I hear about that.
Oh, yeah, no, he smelled incredibly bad. He had a belief that the only reason the body odor was caused only by diet and had nothing to do with showering. So he was like, if I only eat apples for weeks on end, I can't have any body odor, and everybody's just gaslighting me about it. It was just a completely idiosyncratic belief of his.
Okay.
Yeah, Zuckerberg is probably going through a midlife crisis. Zuckerberg probably is going through a midlife crisis. That is fair. But Steve Jobs was just insane in his own way.
I feel like we're going way.
Yeah, way afield. I think this was an interesting discussion though, because again, clothing is an important part of how you communicate things, and depending on what your body is like and your culture and stuff like that, it can be quite limited. There are quite a few things that I think look very cool that I think if I wore them, I would just make everybody really mad. So,
no, I agree. It's a really interesting topic. Let me take a closer to content creation question. The question is really simple, and I think the answer is going to be very simple too. But it's simply, where did you get your models?
Oh, let me go grab it.
Yeah. So about that question, usually, when you follow VTubers, they will have the habits to link all of their stuff. Like if you check in my description, I have everything, like all the details on who worked on what, because crediting is important. And so you can always like look up a VTuber, and you can probably find all the info if you're ever curious. And if you're asking because you're like, oh, maybe I'm interested, then you're gonna need to do a little bit of research, look at like what people do, the style you want, even the rigging, or not rigging on the same, very different. So yeah, that question, by the way, was by BB Eclipse Gaming. So usually it's quite simple. How was it for you to find a model?
Okay, it was well, actually, I mean, this is how you know me, is from the thread that I posted on Twitter, and I've relocated over to Blue Sky because of changes in Twitter TOS, about how I got my model, about my process. So I started streaming, and then I realized I liked it. I started streaming on like a placeholder account, and then I realized I liked it, and so I consulted with some people who were already streaming and already somewhat successful, and came up with a name change, and came up with an aesthetic and everything. And then we went through. I talked to somebody who knows VGen pretty well, and we were looking for like the big thing that I wanted. One of the really big things that I really wanted was a model that is masculine without either being jacked or a twink.
Unfortunately, whatever you're thinking, they're gonna put you in a category.
Yeah, no, but I wanted to communicate certain things, and I'm very much not a twink IRL. I don't want to communicate that, or I would not feel comfortable inhabiting a body type like that. And being jacked had this kind of threatening aura to it that I didn't want to have.
I mean, I don't know, but your shoulder size kind of tell me that, like, if you're not jagged under there.
I'm pretty soft. I want to be soft. I mean,
you're soft under there? Okay.
Yeah, my main, my fundamental way I describe the whole pitch. There's a lengthy pitch that I gave to my artist, but the fundamental of it is Uncle Iroh dressed like he is in Knives Out. That's fundamentally it. Uncle Iroh was like the main inspiration. I included some of the other body types I included are like Gary from oh my god, from Venture Brothers. And Jonah from Boyfriend Dungeon. But yeah, Uncle Iroh was the big inspiration. I wanted to be soft and huggable. And so like it was a quest to find a model artist who did a body type like that, because a lot of model artists don't do that at all.
It's so hard. It's so hard. Yeah. It's so hard. Like you if you want like something that is more like, you know, bishonen, like the cute man, and more like, you know, or cool anime man, like, you know, it's not that hard. But even for me, if I can add a little bit from me, I had a specific vision that is very close to yours, where I wanted to like envision like this kind of Uncle Aura, but at the same time I didn't want to go into the easy kind of bada kind of way. But then you're like, man, these guys though, they really know how to like do dude bodies and big dudes bodies. So you're like, okay, so I want something in between, like they understand how a big guy is drawn, but I don't want to look like a stereotypical like kind of bada. So I was just like, it was hard. It was hard to find like someone who's exactly able to capture that. They're so defined kind of genre that finding something that is not in one of those can be really difficult.
Yeah. For the specific, me and Janken both very specifically were going for like big dude, and even if they're not fan serving Choco-Ray, and even if they're not being fan servicey, they are doing specific body types. And I would say of the model artists, like I remember going through Vision. I have no idea how many artists I looked at. I do remember the number of times I looked at an artist and was like, oh, this is really cool, this is really neat, and then seeing that they just do not do men no matter what.
Yes.
That was really common. And then when I looked at ones that did do men, I probably had a list of like 20 or so that I narrowed it down to, and I went with Sensational because I like the way that he drew big dudes the most. Drawing big dudes is just the first step, because it sounds silly, but rigging the body of a more female character or a male character is very different, because the shape are different. My neck is not like the neck of like the usual let's say maybe more female presented VTuber, right? So you also need a rigger who understand how to rig those, which is also difficult, because yes, you rigger are usually more broad, but like to me it was important that I find someone who's also comfortable in rigging a more male-looking model. So I don't know about you. They did both, right? No, I had a separate rigger.
You did. Okay.
Yeah, I Sensational did my rigging. Charlotte did my Sensational did my art. And Charlotte X Bear did my rigging.
I see.
Yeah, that was so that was so I had a different rigger and a different model artist, it's a big process. It's a very big process. It took months. Like I was on PNV for
a year for
6
me.
months. Yeah, I know people who it's been like. I know one VTuber who their model artist blew the deadlines by not even like doing the deadline, but after the deadline, like another 6+ months.
Yes. Deadlines.
Yeah.
This is not a topic we have today, but if there's one thing I've learned doing more and more content creation, at first I was, the kind of guy who's just like, oh, it's okay, I understand, oh, okay, to just like, no, that's the deadline, and we're approaching the deadline, and if we don't have it by the deadline, we're gonna have issues, because that's not what we agreed on when we signed whatever, like that I don't know. I used to be very understanding, but I felt like because there's all these time where I was understanding and then things were just not happening, I was just like, now I'm a lot more firm about deadline. As much as I understand, busy world, like these artists, like they often take way too much work and they can't like really like produce by the time they say. And I get it, sometime like life happened, I get it.
Yeah.
But like that's the one time I've learned, that's the one thing I've learned. It's just like now respecting my time, right? Is has become very important to me.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you had this kind of stuff, but for me, it was like really problematic.
I have not had particular problems. I will say that part of the reason why I haven't particularly had problems is that I try to do things very far in advance. And so I am actually cooking up something with Sensational, and that has involved talking to him before I even make pitches to him about scoping out the scale of the project.
Yeah. But
I try to give huge. I am a very patient man. Is like a lot of this. I'm a person who I have been rewarded in life in general for waiting things out. And so to me, it's very easy to try to just create these really, really expansive timelines for when I want to get things done. And figuring out what I can do in the meantime. I am comfortable with that because I am used to a lifestyle where that's just a thing that you need to do. Yeah. So that's kind of what I was thinking about.
Yeah. But maybe I don't know. Maybe I got unlucky. Like no communication kind of thing. I'm just like I'm talking to nothing, and then like nothing's happening. That.
I mean, this is part of the reason I feel very easy saying that Sensational is amazing, and he's been moving up in the world since I worked with him.
That's good.
And he deserves it because he's incredibly good. He's incredibly good.
Yeah. So basically, if you're looking into that, you're gonna need time. You're gonna need research, and yeah,
absolutely.
It's gonna be a process.
Yeah.
So I'm at the point now in the question where we are pretty much at the 2-hour marks, which is sometime when we stop. But Nando did take the time to write a lot of questions, so I think we're gonna finish with an extra Nando question.
Yeah, let's go.
Let me see. Actually, I'm gonna read them and we're gonna choose. Okay. There's a lot, so we're in the choosing process right now. First question is, what is your number one comfort food? For me, this is too easy. I'm gonna say poutine, and like I talk about poutine all the time.
Yeah.
So we're gonna skip this one. What modern trend do you find the hardest to understand? That's one. What old trend do you wish would make a comeback?
Okay.
Is there any advice you would like to give younger content creator? We kind of did a little bit for a VTuber here. Which one of you would win in an Age of Empire 2? We're not gonna cater to your Age of Empire 2 content. Well, I know you did watch with him, but I couldn't care less. So you would win.
I've done 2 streams with him. Where
I know. That's why I'm saying.
I like it. I was watching.
You would win.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
And the last one is, what is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? Why?
Well, that's an incomplete question. Are you talking about an African one or a European one?
Well, it's incomplete, so let's skip this one. We have either modern trend you find hard to understand, or what old trend do you wish you would make a comeback?
Okay, that's a tricky one because I don't know if there's any one answer I'd have to. I could talk about either of those at length. We did already kind of talk about ghosting, so I think let's go with an old one. Let's go.
Okay, so what old trend do you wish would make a comeback? Okay, old trend. I'm not a trendy person. I gotta say it right here. Either, yeah. Like I often am trend oblivious. Mm-hmm. But let me think. An old trend that you would like make a comeback.
Okay. I've got one that's kind of a complicated one.
Okay.
I don't know if it qualifies as a trend, but it is definitely a historical thing that I've noticed.
Okay.
So, watch a show like I Love Lucy, or look at commercials from that same era, from like the '60s and stuff like that, or put yourself back a couple decades. There's something that you'll notice that's very strange and kind of interesting, and a little bit subtle, which is that the men you'll often see these like couples dates. And the men are friends with the men, and the women are friends with each other, right? There's these homosocial relationships. It's two heterosexual couples, and then these two homosocial relationships on top of that. I think it's really bad how often men only are emotionally intimate with women, and specifically with their romantic partners. I think that men need to do... I think it's better for men if they are more friendly with each other and more willing to be emotionally vulnerable with each other.
But wasn't it like worse before?
In a lot of ways. In a lot of ways, yes.
So how is this? So you want a new trend then? It's not an old trend.
Yeah. I want a remix. I think we can take things from the past and do them better. That's how I think. I think that's in general how I think about the past. I think there's a lot of things I can talk about the past that I think we can look at. And in general, this is a big history thing. In general, I would not want to travel to almost any point in the past because flush toilets and dentists are recent innovations.
Yes.
I do not want to get dental work without Novocaine. So that's but I think that the trend in millennial and younger men of the only person you talk to about any emotional issues is your mother or your girlfriend is bad. That's where
it's so weird. When you say these, it's so weird to me. So again, more information about myself. I was raised by a single mother, and there was not a lot of men. Like I was very close to my grandmother, not close to my grandfather. It's been my life been very on the feminine kind of trend. And when I hear that, to me, like I know as a guy among all those billions, it's so weird to me. It's just like it's never been a problem. I know it is a problem, but like to me, it's never been really a problem. And I always have like this kind of hard understanding into why is it not like that already kind of thing.
Yeah. So, I mean, part of this is age. And it's like
you think
there's a really distressing series of sociology findings that's been repeated, a survey finding, where young men in particular report having no close friends. Which is wild to me, because I'm a person who befriends people very easily. I have many people who I feel like I'm a very close friend with. Again, I'm going to be making like 300 or so, 200, 300 something cookies to mail out to people for Christmas of people whom I adore enough to, do this for, to hand make gifts for. And that's like 20, 30 people. And so there is this distressing thing where a lot of men feel like they cannot talk to other men about anything that emotionally bothers them. And even the level of conversation that me and you are having is something that I know a lot of younger men I've talked to feel is very difficult to do. Is very, very difficult to do. And so I think this has a lot to do with the way that masculinity has changed over the last 40 years or so, where the performance of what is considered acceptable masculinity has become very narrow. And I kind of saw this happening in real time. That's watching younger generations where they were more and more paranoid about looking effete, looking like the F slur. If they did things that are not even remotely gendered, like things that don't make any sense to think about in these terms. You know, and it's, I think that I think that kind of communication, where if it's somebody who you feel like you're close to, I feel like you should feel more comfortable saying to them, like, hey, this thing is bothering me. Hey, this thing, I think that you should be more willing to do that. And it's something that there's a change. There's a change. We've got the survey data on it. We've got the survey data on it.
So if I understand correctly, you would say then the old trend you would like to kind of make a comeback would be just like people just talking to each other more.
More vulnerable. Okay. Being more vulnerable to each other, being more emotional.
But I don't think like it used to be more vulnerable. I do think that people were talking to each other more, but I don't think that people used to be more vulnerable. I think, like, if anything, like, people were even like more hard, like, especially men.
I think that it's a kind of complicated series of things, because I think the general cultural trend has gone that way, but I do think there's a subcultural trend within men that has trended against that in ways that's pretty deleterious.
Like I said, like, to me, maybe I don't have enough friends that are like feeling like that in my kind of, you know, circles. It's never really been a problem. So, but I know it is a problem. But for me, it's just like this kind of thing. It's just like, yeah. It's just like, yeah. It's just like, this is normal. So yeah, but I get it. For me, I'm gonna go like so much more simpler. And it's gonna be more internet trend, because there's something that I missed that I know was important for internet trend is Vine.
Oh, Vine.
Okay. I completely skipped Vine. 100%. 100%.
I was very offline when Vine was around. Yeah.
And I feel it influenced a lot the internet communication, just the way that a lot of the content that is made today. And I don't know, I feel like if I had to bring something back, at least more to understand it, not because I want it per se, I would just be like, because I feel TikTok is the answer to Vine, but I have no really interest on TikTok, and I feel that Vine, from what I've seen, seemed just like more funny, more content oriented than just like trash, and at least from my perspective. So definitely I am curious about this trend to make a comeback, but I think it just wouldn't work probably because we have like other things like established. But yeah, I completely have no idea. Like the only thing I know 100% is Vine, is the Vine boom, the audio. But outside of that, like, and I know there was some skit that was made popular and that made a lot of memes from there. What year was even Vine? Was it like 2010?
I want to say early Obama era. I want to say like 2008, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I was very offline at that period.
Yeah, I think I was also very offline.
The things that I know from Vine are various Brian David Gilbert and Sungwon Cho clips that I thought were very funny. And that's what I know of Vine, and I think they're very impressive. And when I look at TikTok, there's this I don't know, there's this there's something to it. There's this sliminess to most of the TikToks I ever see that I don't really like.
A sliminess.
Yes.
Well, you gotta say more here.
I don't know how to express it. I don't know how to express it. It's there's these like little pieces of polish and artifice that I see that to me read like they exist so that you won't actually parse the content critically. And this is not nearly all of TikTok. It's just like when people tend to share them with me. When I actually go to my own TikTok, when I go to my own TikTok, it is almost entirely rural Chinese guys playing pranks on each other.
Oh my god, yes, I've seen a lot of
which
those.
is pretty good. Which is pretty good. That's pretty good. Not enough for me to visit more than once a week, but still, like, yeah, you know, these guys are just having fun. And like clearly they thought about it and like they put in thought into the editing and stuff like that. But like the use of like the TikTok voice and the way that people frame themselves in the camera all feel like it's so like cloyingly of a genre that it just I don't know how to describe this other than like it feels slimy. It feels like when somebody is pretending at levels of authority they haven't earned. Which is like the number one thing that puts me on suspicion. Like the number one thing that makes me suspicious is when people do that.
Yeah, I hate that.
Like I played Slay the Princess recently, and like my most strong reaction to it immediately was that the narrator in it is like, you have to do this really critical thing or everyone or like the stakes of the world ending are on your shoulders if you don't do this. So it's like people only do that and like I won't explain. He's like, I will never explain to you why this is happening. People who do that, like that's like when somebody tries to get you to do like sign the contract really quickly, and like tells you the stakes are really high, they're hustling you.
Of course.
They're hustling you. Don't trust them. Yeah,
of
somebody's
course.
substituting stakes for an argument, that's a sign of mistrust. Like, so like that's so like again, it's like that's like triggers those same kind of things of like somebody going around giving medical advice while like wearing a stethoscope and a lab coat, but they're not actually a doctor. And like, why are you doing this? Like, what's going on? Like, like what is your plan here? If I'm like, where did you get your medical degree? And they're like, oh, don't worry about that. But now I'm really worried about it.
That's the internet as a whole, though. Everyone like pretending that they're an expert, you know, like. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And to do my own part in this, I was never a history professor. I was a sociology professor. I always feel like I need to disclaim this one.
But you did say it like many times. I think every time, like
I say it all the time because I'm so deathly afraid of somebody being like, "Oh, you pretended to be a history professor." It's like, no, don't get me on that one. I'm not going to take that one. It was but yeah. No, yeah, Vine, yeah, because like Vine, I very short comedy, just enough for a punchline, enough for a punchline. Yeah.
So So maybe it's me. I should research more about it. But we actually went like longer than we thought. Like at first, like we were like, are we gonna have like a question? Like, are we gonna have like? Oh, we had a lot of people, even like new names that I saw for the first time, sending some questions. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. It was fun. I enjoyed like answering everyone's question today. So I think we're gonna wrap up here, right? Since we already are going over our time. Al, anything is happening for you until the end of the year? Anything on the channel?
For the end of the year, okay, so I am planning. So I finished a subathon recently, and I have to distribute the rewards. I have only distributed one of the main rewards so far, and I'm going to, if StreamerBot opens up, I can show you all quite quickly what the reward was. But I've only done one of the rewards, so I'm going to be doing streams on rating things and eating the spicy ramen. At least one of those I'm going to do by the end of the year.
Which one? Which one are you eating?
I'm probably going to do I've already distributed the question form for the rating stream. That one's going to get. I really want to get that one knocked out by the end of the year. I do not want to fall into the trap of like having these reward streams hanging over me for the next 6 months. I really want to start like.
I mean, it might happen. I'm letting you know I have a lot of promises that are still hanging because time.
I
and
already
then,
do, and I want to knock some. Some of these are not super hard though, from my perspective. And some of them are already done, and I've already done one of the big reveals. Janken, I think you know what's coming.
I'm not sure. Oh yes. Yes. Bring it.
You're over. Hold on, I gotta grab myself. There you go. Yeah. Yes.
Did you grab it?
I grabbed it. I moved myself. I should be.
Okay. Oh, here we go.
Yeah. Yeah. So
this is great. This is great.
I love this one. Yeah. I love this so much.
Man,
so
I'm almost feeling like I should have one, and then we do a whole man yap as
yeah, it was really funny. I after the tournament, I was in the loser chat, and a bunch of people were asking me questions, and then like I get a DM from the model artist the next day, and she's just like, why am I followed by a bunch of new people who all follow you? Yeah, we got sock montos. But yeah, I want to do the rating stream because that one's relatively easy. The one that's going to be really hard that I need to plan out way in advance is a 24-hour Dark Souls stream. Why did I put that on there?
I don't know. I don't know why you did that. You hate yourself, I think. Like
I do have terrible insomnia. So
12 hours is hard by itself. 24? Like you're gonna need to train for that shit.
Yeah. Well, I need to have food cooked in advance is the big one.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. Like you're gonna need like to prep yourself. Like you're gonna need to schedule that you're gonna like oversleep probably before, and then have like everything set up for the stream, and then afterward that you're gonna need to crash because 24 hours. Oh my goodness, like you're gonna crash.
That's gonna be like my only stream for like a week. Like,
yeah.
It's gonna be like my only stream the entire week. Marky, I actually like Dark Souls. I'm bad at it.
Yeah, but you're bad at it,
and I'm doing it fine. I died 123 times to the Asylum Demon. I'm really bad at it. But I did actually enjoy streaming it. I thought it was really fun to stream. It was like a good balance of like having to pay attention to chat versus paying attention to the game. It was actually very fun for me. But it was torture for some of the viewers. I know at least one friend who has never watched my stream ever again since then. That made me so mad. So bad. It made him so mad he's never watched me since then.
That's pretty funny. All right.
Yeah. So I just want to finish out the year strong. Get some of my reward streams in. I am over on Twitch. I mostly do hand cams. Calligraphy is my main content. So if you want to watch an old man do calligraphy and talk about history, that is me.
Very impressive calligraphy. If you haven't seen it, everyone, at least pop in like in one of those. It's really good. I don't know a lot of people. That do that. So definitely, it's definitely a nice niche. I know
literally one other. So
yeah.
I
we did it at the same time. Would you look at that? Literally at the same time we did it. Very nice. So yeah, go follow Almontas there, everyone. On my side, December is my big month. We already had the tournament. If you haven't watched that, I highly recommend. We had a lot of fun like doing the tournament, and I work hard on it, so please go support that. Otherwise, it's my birthday next week on the 22nd, and I will be posting the schedule, but I'm gonna tell you now, right now, because why not, as I'm gonna post probably the schedule tonight. I am calling the event Happy Batsu Day, Janken.
Happy Batsu Day.
Batsu Day. You know what Batsu mean?
As in like wrong?
Batsu in the VTuber world is punishment.
Okay, because I was thinking of like bots, crossing your arms and going bots says like you did it wrong. Like you screwed up.
So happy Bots Day, and there's gonna be a lot of pain. I'm self-inflicting pain for myself and content on my birthday, but it's gonna be a lot of fun. We're gonna be playing game and getting reason like to make me do some really funny stuff. So yeah. It's gonna be the event for my birthday. I've planned like a lot of like silly things to make me do, and yeah, I hope everyone come and participate on my birthday. And also, what else do we have? There's a new Janken game, not me, actual Janken from Hololive coming up next week. I'm super excited because any Janken rock paper scissors content is rare. And I'm it within my niche. I will have a stream, and you don't want to miss that. It's gonna be Janken Santa Janken, and I'm gonna have a lot of gift to give everyone. Yes, I'm giving you a gift this year, so that's gonna be that, and then it's gonna be the New Year event. Anyway, a lot of stuff coming until the end of the month. It's gonna be a lot of fun for me, and yeah. And maybe next year, we're gonna need to plan, and we're gonna do more Omen. Yeah.
All right.
Cool. Yes, a lot of gifts coming up for Christmas coming from me. You'll see. All right. So with this, I think we're gonna say otsu, everyone, and we'll be seeing you very soon, either on Amanta's channel or mine. All right. Thank you once again, Al. Always a pleasure. And everyone, have a great day. And otsu. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.